Yeah, I guess it's kind of it's a. I wrote a book about it. It's kind of become a story that it's part of my narrative. All the stuff we were talking about music. Aspiring and moving another city to do it all, and you just want to be in a good band. I never really my thing was never. I don't want to be like a pop star. I just want to be a good band. That we're like brothers and we're tearing the roof off of places, and there's a connectivity with an audience, and you're writing great songs. And no part of that was. I also want to be an alcoholic and a junkie. I don't know anybody who has aspired to be that. Sometimes it comes, it happens to some of us. It happened to me. It was nothing I ever dreamed of. Like this wasn't. I didn't want to be elegantly wasted and die at 30, but it was happening to me. So it sure was, and I think I got so caught up into it. But about 28, at the height of guns, I tried to stop a bunch of times. A bunch of my friends had died, and it was really just this dark period. Looking back, I didn't realize how dark it was, but I thought, okay, well, I'll probably make it till I'm 30, and you leave a big mark. You've left your mark, and that was it. You can't stop. You've tried. It's like a wet cardboard box. You can't quite punch your way out of. It's the only way I can really describe what that's like. It's intensely frustrating, and it stops being scary because you're just so fucked up and so used to it. But I got a second chance, but my body failed, and I was taken to the hospital, and I had some time. I survived the thing that happened to me, and that was a big deal. And my mom was there on the last of 8 kids, and she had Parkinson's, and just that instant when she's in a wheelchair, Parkinson's, her son with tubes, and she's crying. I just thought the order of things is fucking wrong here, right? You're failing your mom, and at that point, I really saw a light, and I had enough drugs in me from the hospital that I got a break from all the other shit I was doing. Even though I was on morphine and Librium and with buttons, but I was off of the street drugs and off of the other stuff. So I had a couple of weeks of that, and they tapered me off of all that stuff. And so when I got out of the hospital, they had a rehab for me to go to. I'm like, I've seen my mom. I've had enough rehab. I'm good. I'm done. So that was a big turning point. But at that point, I didn't know if I could play music again, because I'd always played with at least a shot of something in me. Even when I was a teenager, I think I probably always played with a little something. So that I thought maybe at 30, okay, well, music's maybe over for me. I'll just figure out what life's about first. Like, what happens when you go to bed at 11 o'clock at night and wake up at 7 in the morning? That's what was my first step. What happens if you crack a book and try to read it? I'm going to try to read this Ernest Hemingway book, For Whom the Bell Tolls. I heard people read this in high school. I'll read it now, And little things like that. And then a friend of mine, Steve Jones, who's one of my idols from the Pistols, another friend of ours had passed, Shannon Hoon, and Steve called and said, we want to do a fundraiser for Shannon's wife and baby, right? So will you come and play? We'll play this gig. And he's my idol, Steve Jones. I learned how to play guitar and listen to Steve Jones riffs, for sure. And I said, Steve, I don't know if I can. It's just newly sober, and he had a few years on me as far as that's concerned. And he said, you'll be fine. And just hearing him say that, and I went and played with him. And I played guitar in this thing we did. So I was playing guitar with my guitar hero. And so that first gig was a trip. I thought everybody was just staring at me, and I thought I was standing all wrong, and then I had a big L on my forehead, but it went fine, and we got done, and people came up and said, you played better than you've ever played. I thought I was clamming everything, but I eventually learned how to play again and play live, and really I realized how much I was missing, but I wasn't connecting. And you get into music because it's a connectivity thing, not only with the guys you're playing with. It's like this mindless thing that you do, it should be mindless. You know, it should be so fluid, and the audience and everything. With all the crap I had going through my veins, I was missing some of that connectivity. I was in like this little like fucked up bubble, you know, full of drool and you know. So I really connected with that again. And in my case, I went to school. I went back to school right at that point. And then Slash and I talked on the phone. Like we have to start playing again somehow, you know. And we talked to Matt, and we formed Velvet Revolver. We started just writing songs and got a singer in, and it was round two, you know. That was a right intention, bunch of players who have the right intention. When you have that, even if you don't sell a record or sell 5 tickets, but if you got a bunch of people you're playing with have the right intention, you're gonna win. Doesn't fucking matter after that, you know. But in Velvet Revolver's case, we had success, and we wrote songs. But it was the same thing, you know. We wrote songs we believed in, not songs we thought would be radio hits. I wouldn't know how to write a radio hit. If you put me on this couch right now and said, Duff, you have to write a radio hit, I wouldn't know how to do it. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I know there's some formula out there, but I haven't gotten the secret letter yet with the formula in it. But so yeah, we went out and toured and for a lot of years did that thing, and now I had this band when I was in Seattle going to school. It was called Loaded, and it was this thing I would go like on my spring break from school. We'd go to Japan and play. And, Loaded started up sometime like Velvet Revolver was still going. We went and played some shows when we had some downtime. I took my wife and kids, and we went to the UK and did this really fun tour. And there was not the big pressure of Velvet Revolver. It was just this fun kind of. We just played theaters, little theaters. And super fun, and we just kind of we ran into problems with our singer in Velvet Revolver, and so I was like, okay, let's just keep Loaded going, and we've toured all over the world a million times, and just got back from Buenos Aires, played with Slash down there, and Gilby opened up. It was really fun, super fun gig, and I just recorded some songs for a new book I have coming out in a couple weeks. And I recorded them with Izzy, so and Jerry Cantrell, so I get to play with all my buddies, and in a lot of ways, like I do a lot of stuff with Jerry, hanging out, just going to football games, Seattle Seahawks games, and we're just bros, and there's kind of some weight to it when you have Izzy and Jerry and me in a room. It's like, wow, we lost a lot of. There's other guys that should be sitting on this couch that we lost. You know, it's kind of it's heavy. So I'm really, the point of that is I'm really happy when I record songs with those guys like that, because it's always a celebration, you know, and there's always a lot of humor in it and a lot of fun, and I go out on the road now and I play with, I still feel like the kid because I play with, you go out and see, like I played in Berlin last June and we're playing with Aerosmith, right? So it sold out the O2 Arena in Berlin. Big place, 18,000. Night before, Black Sabbath played an even bigger place. Those guys are, average age of Aerosmith is arguably, 66? Whatever it is. Average age of Black Sabbath, who sold out the bigger place the night before, probably 25,000 or 30. Average age of them is 66 or 60, whatever it is. Yeah. The next night, the Rolling Stones were playing in the stadium. Average age of Rolling Stones is 7. So I'm like, everybody who's selling out big fucking places this summer, this is last summer, are all like, I got to get started here, man. And it's a testament to show like quality music is the things that lasts. And I better get my shit together and get going.